Hey guys, welcome to Kevin's Commentary on Comics. It's part 2 of my look at the short-lived but oh so loved series from the 70s, The Champions. Last time I talked about the start of the book and some of my thoughts on why it was so short-lived. You can check that out here and then come on back because the world still needs the second part of this series, I guess. So things got a little bit more interesting when it turned out that Rampage was in cahoots with the Crimson Dynamo, Titanium Man, Griffin, and Darkstar. And Darkstar, don't even get me on Darkstar. I mean, one of the coolest things that happened with this one storyline was the fact that they took Hercules, Iceman, Angel, and Ghost Rider, trapped them in a box deep below the earth, right in the middle of the San Andreas Fault. And if they started battling their way out, which Hercules wanted to do, and the team was constantly trying to stop him from doing it, would have caused a massive earthquake, and California would have inevitably fallen into the ocean. And Darkstar is the one who put them in the box. So Darkstar had a wide variety of powers. She could teleport, she could fly, she had force bubbles, she had dark dimension blasts. I'm sure they went in further later after the series was way over and she was part of the Soviet super soldiers. They probably went more into what exactly her powers were, but it was really kind of undecided. And part of that whole Crimson Dynamo Black Widow storyline, at the end of it, Darkstar became a good girl and helped the heroes defeat the enemies by actually freeing Herc, Iceman, Angel, and Ghost Rider out of that box. And then she kind of quickly joined the team, rather suddenly. As a matter of fact, Ghost Rider even comments about the fact that the team seemed to accept her much more quickly than they had been accepting him. But hey, dude, you have a flaming skull. She's a hot blonde. Flaming skull, hot blonde. What are you going to go with? I think I know. So really, starting with about issue 9 and going straight on through, the Champions were really pretty strong. And as I said before, this is about when I started reading them and discovered the Champions, and I was just instantly hooked. They introduced Black Goliath as a kind of semi-regular character, and I always dug the guy's costume. I thought the Black Goliath's costume was really cool, except for the bare midriff. I don't know why they did that exactly. They could have just gone solid, and the costume would have been excellent. And again, when Byrne came on and started doing the artwork, it was even better. They just, John Byrne is just legendary. I mean, when you start talking about legendary artists, John Byrne has to be in the conversation because he was just that good. So following the Crimson Dynamo storyline, they had a really nice little story featuring the Stranger and Camo Tharn. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Camo Tharn, the blind guy. He had the thing over him. I'll show you a picture. And then followed by the Menace of the Swarm. And I thought this guy was really cool. His body was made of living bees. Could you imagine if they did that in the movies? What a cool effect that would be. That's a good character they could bring into maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or maybe one of the Netflix series, Swarm. It was really a kind of a cool villain. Then the series ended, like I said before, was a continuation of a story from Supervillain Team Up where Doom and Magneto were kind of battling each other. Doom had taken over the world without anyone knowing it. Everybody had to obey Doom. Doom was bored with this, so he released Magneto from his control. Basically, Magneto went to the Champions to kind of recruit them. First, he recruited the Beast, and then they went to the Champions, obviously because of the connection of the Beast to the Iceman to the Angel. It made sense. So that story actually finished in the Champions. And then the very last issue was kind of a cool story featuring the Vanisher, Blob, Eunice the Untouchable, and Lorelei. And then the book just ended. And it really did appear like the writers did not know the book was being canceled because it ended with a bunch of questions about Darkstar. She declares that she is more than human, and all the team was going, huh? She's more than human? What did that mean? I don't know. I'm a superpowered demigod. I'm a mutant who can control ice. What could it possibly mean that she's more than human? Huh, that's weird. I don't know. Sometimes these things that shock superhero guys are kind of weird. But at the bottom of this panel, it said that the question, like, what are we going to do about Darkstar? What do we do now? That question would be answered in a future issue of The Avengers. But that story never happened. The closure to Champions actually occurred in the pages of Spectacular Spider-Man, specifically issues 17 and 18. Basically, the team was just kind of done. They all just went their separate ways. leaving Angel with their skyscraper headquarters, which was falling apart all around them and caused them problems within the Champion Series as well. Angel was stuck with the skyscraper falling apart around him and the fact that Rampage, again, the arch nemesis to the Champions, had enslaved Iceman. Iceman was actually wearing the Rampage armor. Spidey helps to save the day. Warren Worthington gets the people who built the building to buy it back, and everything just ends. So that was it. Kind of anticlimactic, if you ask me. Which maybe that's how comics ended back in the day. They didn't get a chance to find out if this was the final issue to try to do their own wrap-up. The team just never took off. I always liked the team. Ghost Rider, I think, is another interesting choice. I think if they had not included him and maybe some other character, maybe Black Goliath right from the start, or Dark Star right from the start, or some other random character that was semi-popular during that time, they may have had a little bit more legs. I really think Ghost Rider was the odd man out in this series. He just didn't really fit in a team book, and honestly, he still doesn't. But hey, I said that about Spider-Man, and he's been with the Avengers now for like, what, 10 years? So, what do I know? Still, I have a lot of fond memories about the Champions. I went back through, I read all 18 issues. Like I said, going back, those first 8 issues or so, not that great. And so I think my fond memories were really from about issue 9 on when I started reading the Champions. And it was really just a lot better then once Byrne was on board and they had a consistent artist and they were doing Avenger type stuff. It's still a classic from the 70s as far as I'm concerned. What did you think? Did you read the Champions back when you were a kid, or have you gone back maybe and back issues and pulled this series out to check it out? It's available on Marvel Unlimited, by the way. I've talked about Marvel Unlimited before. It's a really great service provided by Marvel. It's the Netflix of comics. So you can go and read the entire 17-issue run if you'd like. Again, wait until you get to about issue 9, 8 or 9. That's when it really kind of takes off and then ends rather abruptly, as I said. So anyway, that's a little look at the Champions. I'm going to check out something else. I'm going to try to find something a little bit more current for my next review. But for now, my name is Kevin. That was my commentary. Hey, if you want to hear me talk about other failed 70s series or successful ones, and not just in the 70s, but maybe in the 80s, maybe in the 90s, maybe in the 2000s, maybe in the 2010s. That catches us up. Okay, all right. If you want to see that stuff, hit the subscribe button. I'll be talking about them. And until next time, please to be having a good day. Thank you. The world still needs heroes!